Princess Scarlett Amani Vale learned how to disappear before she learned how to bow. On the night she was meant to be announced as betrothed, gold silk biting into her shoulders, and the palace humming with expectation, Scarlett climbed out a window instead. No farewell, no tears, just a dagger strapped to her thigh and a heartbeat that refused to slow. They said the prince was cruel, they said he was cold, they said he had never loved anything that could talk back. Scarlett decided she would rather die unknown than live owned. By dawn, the road swallowed her whole. The outlaws found her 3 days later. She stumbled into their camp half dead, boots split, crown jewels long gone. What saved her wasn't her accent or her beauty, it was the way she didn't beg. A boy no older than 12 aimed a crossbow at her chest. "Y'all argue later," he said calmly, "she bleeding on my shoes." That was Malik, sharp-eyed, too clever for his age, a menace with a grin. His sister Imani, 9 and terrifyingly observant, circled Scarlett slowly. "You running from somebody important," Imani said. "Your fear smells expensive." Scarlett laughed weakly. "You kids always talk like that?" "Only when we write," Malik replied. That was how Scarlett joined the Black Spur. They didn't ask her name, she gave them a false one anyway. Except Denzel saw straight through her. Denzel was quiet in a way that commanded attention. Tall, broad-shouldered, eyes like he had memorized loss and chosen not to flinch again. He spoke only when necessary, and when he did, people listened. From the beginning, something lived between them. Not love, not fate, recognition. He taught her how to hold a blade properly. She corrected his stance, fingers lingering just a second too long. At night, they stood watch together, shoulders almost brushing, conversations circling truths neither wanted spoken aloud. "You don't walk like someone who grew up poor," he said once. Scarlett smirked. "And you don't talk like an outlaw." Their chemistry burned slow and dangerous. The kids noticed first. "If y'all don't kiss soon," Malik whispered one night, "I'm setting something on fire." "Don't," Imani added. He'd enjoy the chaos. Scarlett choked on her drink. Denzel looked away, the corner of his mouth betraying him. The kingdom caught up to them at dawn. Soldiers surrounded the camp. Steel, banners, certainty. Scarlett reached for her dagger. Denzel stepped in front of her without hesitation. The captain dropped to one knee. "Your Highness," he said, "Prince Denzel Kadim Rowan." The world cracked open. "You lied to me," Scarlett said, rage and betrayal colliding in her chest. "So did you," Denzel replied quietly. Malik squinted. "Hold on, you the runaway prince? And she the runaway princess?" Imani sighed. "I hate destiny." "I wasn't sent to retrieve you," Denzel said. "I ran for the same reason you did. I didn't want a marriage arranged like a treaty. Then I met you, and I stopped pretending." Scarlett slapped him. Then she kissed him. It was fury and relief colliding all at once. When they broke apart, she rested her forehead against his. "I still don't want the crown." Denzel smiled, real and unguarded. "Good, because neither do I." They didn't return to the palace. The Black Spur grew. More rebels, more danger, more responsibility. Scarlett and Denzel led side by side, close but untouching. The kiss lingered like unfinished business. Freedom, Scarlett learned, did not make love simpler. It made it sharper. When Naomi, a new scout, laughed too easily with Denzel and leaned too close during strategy meetings, Scarlett told herself she didn't care. Her jaw tightened every time Naomi touched his arm. "You freezing me out," Denzel said one night. "I don't trust easily," Scarlett replied. You trusted me before you knew my name. That was different. How? Because then, she snapped, you weren't born into the same cage I ran from. Then tell me how to fix it. She couldn't. Malik had decided adults were terrible at obvious things. Lying, not staring at each other like they were starving, pretending they were just discussing strategy while standing far too close. They're flirting, Imani said. They're fighting, Malik corrected. Same thing. They liked Scarlett. They liked Denzel, which was why it was incredibly annoying watching them circle each other like fear was holy. They're scared, Imani said quietly. Okay, Malik replied, but they're still dramatic. The ambush came 3 nights later. Steel flashed, fire bloomed, an arrow struck Scarlett's shoulder and dropped her to the ground. Denzel saw red. No, he said, hands shaking as he pressed cloth to her wound. I can't lose you. I don't need a prince, Scarlett whispered. I need you. I want the woman who argues with me about maps, he said. No crown, no title. Oh my God, Malik shouted. If y'all don't kiss right now, I'm charging admission. They did. This kiss was slow, chosen, devastating. Don't flirt with Naomi, Scarlett muttered afterward. Don't pretend you don't care, Denzel replied. Gross, Malik said, but finally. By morning, they stood before the Black Spur together. No crowns, no lies, just choice. Years later, the road still remembered them. It remembered boot prints worn deep into the earth, where caravans once feared to travel. It remembered fires lit not for war, but for warmth. It remembered stories told in whispers that slowly grew bold. The crowns never did find them, but the people did. Scarlett stood on a rise overlooking a village that no longer boarded its doors at dusk. Her hair was threaded with silver now, her posture easy in a way no court had ever taught her. She wore no jewels, no sigils, just leather, steel, and certainty. Denzel joined her without a word, close enough that their shoulders touched. He had learned long ago that silence with her was not distance, it was trust. They're rebuilding faster than expected, he said, watching children chase each other through the square below. Scarlett smiled. They always do, once they stop being afraid. Behind them, the Black Spur camp hummed with life. Fighters trained, scouts laughed, families shared meals. What had once been a band of outlaws had become something harder to define and harder to destroy. Malik sat at a table nearby, arguing with a gray-haired commander twice his age. He was taller now, sharper still, a tactician whose plans were studied and stolen across borders. You're thinking too small, Malik said, tapping the map. Fear works better when you let people think they chose it. The commander blinked. Who taught you that? Malik grinned. Bad decisions and worse role models. Imani sat a little apart, writing. She always was. Her books had spread farther than any army. Histories, yes, but also warnings. She wrote of crowns abandoned, of power refused, of leaders who ruled by listening. Kings hated her work. The people memorized it. Scarlett watched her, pride softening her chest. We did something right, Scarlett said quietly. Denzel glanced at her. We did a lot wrong first. She laughed, leaning into him. That too. As the sun dipped low, a traveler arrived with news from the capital. Another ruler fallen, another throne empty, another attempt to restore what had been lost. Scarlett listened, then shook her head. No, she said simply. We're done running from ghosts. Denzel squeezed her hand once, a silent vow that needed no witness. That night, as stars scattered across the sky, Malik started a fire and Imani closed her book. What do you think happens next? Malik asked. Imani considered. They keep choosing. He nodded. Yeah, that tracks. The road stretched on, uncrowned, unclaimed. Imani wrote it down later. And somewhere between freedom and love, between fire and choice, the world learned a dangerous truth. Power could be refused. Destiny could be rewritten. And the bravest rulers were the ones who walked away. On the Crownless Road, that was enough. They did not fall in love because of destiny. They stayed because they chose each other every day after. And that, she decided, was far more dangerous. The end. This is Ink to Voices. Thank you for watching.